Hi, welcome to Stein on Stuttering. I'm Larry Stein. This is the first of a series of videos I'm doing. You've asked me to explain and go through how I transform my speech from a pretty severe stutter to a very confident speaker. In fact, now I'm a professional speaker. People actually pay me to give speeches, and which blows my mind. This did not come easily. This was a 2-year process, and I'm going to take you step by step through what I did. Let me make it clear, I'm not a professional speech therapist. I'm not a speech therapist at all. I had taken speech therapy when I was younger. I recommend speech therapy to others. Try that first. If that doesn't work, maybe what I did will help you. So, let's get started. Stuttering consumed me. It dominated me. I remember in my teens, I couldn't even read out loud to myself. That's how bad my stuttering was. But through the workforce, working in the work world, my speech gradually improved over the years. But in my early years, it just dominated me, consumed me. And even after my speech began to improve in the work world, I was still anticipating stuttering all the time, right? My mind working overdrive all the time. I was still shying away from difficult speaking situations. I was not able to say my name until the age of 57. So that gives you some idea. And that was a major goal of mine. So, and I compromised my career. I always wanted to be an investment advisor. And from the age of 11, I studied the stock market day and night. But when it came time to have it as a career, I just couldn't get a word out. And so I became an accountant. I took jobs where I wouldn't have to talk much. I became a writer, and it was very frustrating. I went through terrible, terrible frustration, depressions. I'm sure you have some sense as to what I went through, because chances are you've gone through some of the things I went through. We're in a little club, but this is what I did. So I finally got into the investment field at age 47. My speech improved over the years because I was in the workforce and I was talking a lot. And by the age of 47, I joined a small little firm and got into the investment world and worked for 7 years at a couple of places. And then at age 54, I thought my speech was finally good enough to open up my own firm. But after a year, I realized I hardly had any clients and I had to do something or I was going to be out of business. So this series of videos, this is what I did. And I'll just break it down here on this initial video so that you get a sense as to what's coming up. The first thing I did was I realized I had to relearn to speak. I threw away how I talked and I relearned to speak like a professional speaker. I would mimic professional speakers, and basically I learned to speak in phrases and breathe before I began a phrase and emphasize a word toward the end of the phrase so that I could use up my breath and then speak phrase to phrase to phrase. That was the first step. That was hard, and the key was that I practiced it so much that it became automatic, so I didn't have to think about it. So I could free my mind to focus on the person I'm speaking with. The second thing I did was I realized that 50 years of stuttering really messed me up, and I had to address the psychological issues that were impacting me. So avoidance, anticipating stuttering, rationalizing why I shouldn't talk to people, just on and on, so many different things. And I realized it. And so I developed strategies around that. And you'll actually learn that these strategies, and I didn't know it till years later, are actually strategies that psychologists use. So I think you're going to find that very interesting. As was the third thing that I did, was I realized it couldn't be just an intellectual thing, that to build confidence in my speech, to improve my speech really to the level that I needed, I had to address one speaking situation at a time in very small steps. I was not a hero. Very small steps. This was a 2-year process. This was not a, quick fix, This is not affirmations or feeling good about things, mindset. This was really hard work. And that's what it's going to take. This took me about 2 years, like I said, and it was really hard work. But as I began to make progress, as I could see things improving, it was exhilarating. It was the most exciting thing I'd ever done. And I hope you get to that point where you begin to take on challenges and seek out challenges. So that's what we're going to talk about these next several weeks of videos. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you get a lot out of it. And I hope it inspires you to improve your speech too, because it's really been the ride of my life. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.